Okay, so we're back with the Audi A4 1.8T 2001. So once again, I'm going to try to get in here one more time. I don't have my flashlight over here, and I don't have a tripod yet, so it's going to have to be kind of tell you what I'm going to try to do and then let you know what worked and what didn't. So by nature, by every day, I work on BMWs, Minis, and Mercedes. So Volkswagen, Audis, all that kind of stuff. I mean, cars are cars to some extent, but you know, they're not what I do every day. So some of this stuff's a learning experience for me as well. So I'm going to try to show you what worked for me, what didn't work for me, so that you can kind of try not to do that. And we'll just kind of go from there. So by no means is this the car I work on every day, but we're going to do our best to get through this and to hopefully shed some light on some things that might be a problem that you guys run into as well. So so what I'm going to try to do here is, once again, if you look right down beside the dipstick tube in the middle runner of the middle two runners of the intake manifold, if you can see down below those, there is a breather tube, part of the crankcase venting system, comes up and it runs under here and runs back, vents off this way and then back up and around, and it's actually the back part of it here, venting back into, you know, the crankcase and everything, and the valve cover. So what I'm gonna try to do is, because I don't really want to remove a whole lot if I don't have to. Anything I don't have to remove, I'm not going to. So I'm gonna take off these three Phillips up here and just try to kind of set this up out of the way a little bit. And I'm gonna try to sneak down through here, and it seems like there's a decent amount of room in here. And I'll probably take a pry bar or something through there, and there's just a little spring clip that holds it in. So I'm gonna try to pop that out, pop it up, get this ring off, maybe take a little Scotch-Brite and clean it up, put it back on there. And I'm gonna try to make this pretty quick process here. So, but I will let you know what worked, what did not, and if I run into any trouble or anything I see along the way, I'll let you guys know. Doing the breather hose O-ring, and well, now we're doing the breather hose. Let me show you guys what happened when I tugged on, ever so gently tugged on, this breather hose. What did I do with it? Where'd it go? Oh, here we are. Okay. So the breather hose decided that it was happier in multiple pieces. And then pulling this end off, we actually got where this end broke too. We have little reinforced metal sleeves in here. When I pulled this end up, this just flew out, which is the metal ring inside to keep it, you know, give it a little more stability and make it last longer. Well, it's been in here for a while now. So here's another piece of it. Here's a piece and some chunks. Now, here's the O-ring that I was originally, this is the only reason I was going in here. Just to replace this. Well, this O-ring may or may not have even been leaking at this point. When I realized I pulled this up and the whole thing cracks and falls to pieces, it was more than likely it was this piece cracked, and the O-ring just couldn't do its job because it didn't have anything to seal against any longer. So I've got out as much as I can out of this, and this goes straight to a oil filter canister or something. I think it's what the part is called. I'm not sure exactly why. I think it's basically just a crankcase vent system, or like a PCV system concept. It's like the venting part of it. Anyway, here's the O-ring that I was just going to replace, and part number if you need it. There you go. If you guys need any parts for Volkswagens or Audis, Google VAGCAT, V-A-G-C-A-T, and if you sign up on their forum, you can go straight to like an EPC, electronic parts catalog, and choose anything you want and just pull up the diagrams. Really nice, free. You know, get you an idea of what you're looking at. Gives you kind of generic pricing and stuff and parts and stuff, but the pricing's not always right, you know, always correct. But anyway, here's the new part. Napa actually had it in stock, thank God. So here's what it's supposed to look like new. So we're going to go in here ever so gently and get this thing back in here before anything else falls apart on me. So, no, if any one of you have ever been in the automotive business, you understand very well that this right here can and does happen all the time. So that is the one downfall of working at home or out of your garage or on the side or anything like that. Sometimes this stuff happens, and you just hope, pray that you got the parts you can get the parts that you need fairly quickly without holding somebody up. I mean, people need their cars, so you got to do the best to help them out with that. So, all right. What I did here is I actually pulled this up, and what I found, it's got a small crack right here. and it's been leaking out. It was all over the connector and everything. So I just pulled the connector off, laid this back. Definitely going to recommend we do this as well, but this car is just one of those cars, and there's another small crack. There we go. It's just one of those cars and vehicles that, you know, it's just part after part's going to keep, you know, diming you to death, nickel and diming you to death. So, it's, you know, certain vehicles just they weren't maintained well, and I think this was one of them. So if it were mine, I would try to get rid of it as soon as possible. But anyway, so I took those three. There's 1, 2, and 3. Took those 3 Phillips screws out and reached right down through there. Pulled this vacuum hose system right here out, kind of up and out of the way. And there's just a little spot I can barely reach down through there and get my hand in there and do a little bit of work. So that was my approach. It worked pretty well. I used a pry bar down through the second and third runner and just popped out. This is the clip I was telling you about, the little spring clip. Popped that right out of the way and then reached through, pulled it out, and then voila, breakage, carnage. It happens. So anyway, I cleaned that out the best I could. I think there were a few pieces that fell down in there, but they were very small, just a couple little bitty pieces like this. I'd prefer to have those out of there, but at this point, it's kind of difficult to get those out. So without having to pull the whole intake and everything else, you know, few oil changes, and most of that stuff's going to come out anyway. It's going right down to that area, and it's going to get filtered through there and get caught up. So I'll probably recommend, you know, some regular oil changes fairly quick. You know, instead of doing, you know, it's got over 100,000 miles. We're probably going to do 3,000 or 4,000 miles a few times, and if it even keeps it that long, and we'll get all this stuff flushed out. So, alrighty, well, I'm gonna put that back in and put this back together and get my garage back.